Hi, welcome to July 2023. I'm Mel, and every month I tune into the current energies and I share with you what I sense for the collective and also what's possible for you in your personal life. Now, this month there is one very strong energy, or counter energy actually, and for me, when I tuned in, it felt like literally a wave. And it's a wave of freedom consciousness. And this is very much starting in July. And it's going to continue. So this wave of freedom consciousness, now obviously we experience here very strongly the actions and the strategies of forces that are counter freedom, that are oppressive, that are restrictive. And this is what we are experiencing and have been experiencing. And I'm sensing for July there will be a wave of freedom consciousness. Now, unfortunately, how humans work often, how we function is, unless something is missing, or unless something is threatened that we have, or unless something is being taken from us and we experience the lack of it, we don't value it, or we don't appreciate it, or it's not so much a priority until this happens. And my sense is that more and more people are actually beginning to wake up and beginning to become aware of how their freedom is being restricted. Like they literally experience it, not just as in I read about it or people talk about it or yeah, but more like it hurts. More like it might just start to hurt, or it might start to infringe upon your freedom. But many people are starting to actually experience it in such a way that it triggers an internal reaction, which is to actually prioritize and focus on how much value they have on freedom. And freedom is obviously always an internal aspect, something that we value or we have internally, how free we feel, how free we are, how free we express ourselves, and then obviously also how free are we in the world, like to do what we want to do, to be who we want to be, or who we are, to live the way we want to live, to go places the way we want to go, that kind of stuff. So for the next few months, probably years, this wave of freedom consciousness is gonna become so strong. And so this is literally a counter wave of what has been going on for so long now. And that's very, very positive, because in the end, freedom always creates its own space. Freedom is space. Once you notice that freedom is something you value and it's been threatened or it's been already taken away within yourself and within your life, once you notice that, or in your community or your country or on the planet, then it will take bravery and courage to walk the path of freedom. It will take bravery because the masses of people still seem to conform and they have not yet woken up to freedom being a priority. It's still kind of maybe not at all on the radar or in the background. And that's gonna change, but with every single one of you who are becoming aware of it or have become aware of it and actually starting to live this priority in your own individual way. There are no recipes, there are no rules you can follow, no strategies that are valid for everybody in the same way. You need to find your own individual way of living freedom, of embodying freedom, of having freedom, and then of assisting others in becoming free again. or in valuing and treasuring and keeping their freedom. Every single one who wakes up to, okay, freedom has become a priority for me now, you will also need to be brave, because what you're going to do is not something that necessarily your neighbors, your co-workers, or everyone else is doing. It probably will need a different type of approach to everything. Why? Because the consciousness is different. It's no longer I am a passive passenger on the ride of some government, of some organization, of some movement, of someone else who has an agenda for me. And I allow them to make the decisions for me, and I just go along with whatever this means. By actually having freedom as a priority, we also, at the same time, by doing that, we also have to accept responsibility for our freedom and for how we embody and live our freedom. We cannot say, okay, you have tried to take away my freedom, or you have taken away freedoms. I'm noticing this now, and please give them back to me. It's up to every single one, every single soul here, to live and experience and express their true nature, which is freedom. So this will take responsibility, self-responsibility, and the courage to create and carve out your own path. But that's the good news, because that's why you're here. You're actually here to walk your own path and not the path of everybody else, because that one has been walked and that one is being walked. So forget about that. Walk your own path and use this, whatever you're waking up to in terms of freedom restrictions or anything else. Use this to also allow the courage and the bravery, that spirit of bravery, to flow through you, so you can use this to create your life the way you want to live it, and to not allow any force to restrict you, because we are actually the ones who allow other forces to restrict us. If we don't allow it, if nobody allowed any restrictions, there would not be restriction possible. It's by actually surrendering to it and by saying, okay, fine, do this. Yes, you have this in place. I will follow your rules. This is how you experience and how you will be restricted in your freedom. And that goes for all of us. So whoever wakes up to the consciousness of freedom, join the wave, join the party, join the energetic quality of this month and going forward to actually create a free planet. Because this planet is meant to be free. It is not meant to be a slavery planet to some elite forces. It's not. Those times are gone. Those times are over. Earth is 4D consciousness, as in fourth density consciousness. Love. Love, compassion, unity. That is where Earth has started to move into. So this is not meant to be an enslaved planet, and humanity is not meant to be an enslaved species. Quite the opposite. Humans are moving forward in the direction of the next consciousness level. And you and I and everybody who is waking up is part of that transition. And we get to support our brothers and sisters. So that's the message for July and moving forward. The wave of freedom consciousness. You're going to feel it probably in your own life as well, where you feel restrictions, and you may want to take stock, and you may want to analyze and reconsider everything that's there, or certain aspects might pop up in your life in the next couple of weeks and months where you notice you have maybe actually even brought yourself into unfree situations or unfree circumstances. And then it's time to look at that. It's time to reevaluate with love, with compassion, but also with the focus and the priority, and allowing yourself to have that focus on the priority of freedom. And then change whatever needs to be changed with love, with compassion, with patience. And live your life in the wave of freedom, in the energy and quality of freedom that you are and that you want to live as. I'm going to love you and leave you for today, free soul. And we'll talk again next time if you want to.